What is up with Canelo? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to On My Head, son. I hope you're well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, what is up with Canelo Alvarez? It seems as if, I don't know, maybe it's just my impression, that every time he prepares for a fight or starts promoting a fight, he seems to be falling out with somebody. Now, just in recent memory, in the last fight, he was falling out with Oscar De La Hoya, quite noticeably in public. He wasn't very keen on many things. Now he's fallen out with Berlanga. They had a bit of a set to, a war of words the other day. Fair play to Berlanga. He stood his ground and he was saying, no, I'm going to have you as well, my son, in Spanish, of course. I'm kind of translating in a kind of rough way. But he's also, Canelo, he's also having a go at Eddie Hearn. He's also fallen out with Turki Alalshikh, or not fallen out, but I don't think they were ever friends to begin with. And I just wonder, what is the gameplay here? Now, Canelo comes under a lot of criticism. I'm just wondering what he's being criticised for. He gives us a couple of fights every year. I've sort of remarked in the past that I'm not so sure he's the fighter that he once was. Whilst he's still, yes, undisputed, he's, still pound for pound in the top 5 pound for pound, or top 4, certainly. He's right up there. I'm not sort of, stripping away anything that he has, of course. But I just feel that, his last, 4 or 5 fights, certainly after the Biffle, he's gone the distance. They've all been unanimous decisions, but there haven't been any knockout blows. Now, he hasn't looked in real danger in those fights many of the time. And he's been accused, I suppose, by some quarters of just picking easy fights. So the question is, well, if he wants to pick an easy fight for me, then, hey, welcome Terence Crawford. Now, I was slated by many people watching my video the other day how I remarked about Terence Crawford's fight. I just didn't, personally, it's just an opinion. Hey, calm down. It was just an opinion. So I didn't think it was a really exciting fight. I thought it was quite boring. But technically, yes, right, and he won the decision, and what a fantastic achievement. Obviously, some people seem to forget that I say these things, but there we go. So, but the point I was making, that he's not ready for Canelo. He never will be, and certainly not right, because it's a totally different weight, of course. But on that performance at a higher weight, he struggled. So you kind of think the logic dictates he's never going to be there. But for Canelo, welcome on Terence Crawford right now. You would think that's the obvious thing to do, right? My criticism of Terence Crawford wasn't necessarily because of the way he boxed or that he won or anything like that. It was more about the show, the entertainment, and the spectacle. And I just don't think he brought it. Now, other people have kind of agreed with me, and obviously I'm sure other people would totally disagree with me. But from a Canelo point of view, you would think, well, yeah, bring him on, because if he's being accused of just picking easy fights or easier fights, then you would imagine that Terence Crawford, whilst he is pound for pound right up there, whilst he is 4-weight world champion, undisputed twice, weight doesn't lie. The divisions don't lie, and it comes to a point where he's jumping up so far that I just don't believe he's going to be able to even put up any kind of challenge against the Canelo Alvarez, who are kind of comparable ages as well. But for that, he's saying, well, okay, if I want to fight, Benavidez or fight Crawford, you're going to have to pay me 150, 200 million, whatever it is. Ridiculous figure. So I just wonder what is about Canelo. Why is he coming forward with this rhetoric? Why is he coming forward with all these demands? Because he's kind of clearing 35, 40 million a fight anyway with the pay-per-views. Now, maybe it's just because he thinks he is the absolute A-side in all these negotiations, or any potential future negotiations. He knows that he is a pay-per-view king. He's probably one of very few in the world of boxing that he can guarantee an amazing audience who's going to be willing to pay. Now, who is his audience? Well, his audience is going to be the Mexican fan base, the Latin American fan base, but also those Latin Americans, Latinos, let's say, the Mexican Americans, who are actually in country as well. Everybody's going to want to see Canelo fight, right? They're going to pay for it as well. That's where his fan base is. So maybe he thinks, I don't know, I'm just kind of guessing here, and let me know in the comments below what you think Canelo's game plan is here. But it seems if at any time he's matched up with somebody, or any time there's talks about him working with somebody else or another promoter or anything like that. It's almost like there's a bit of disdain there. There's almost like there's a bit of anger there. So why should he have to lower himself to go match up with somebody else? I think he just wants it all his own way. He wants to dictate everything. He wants to take the lion's share of the purse. There's talk of, like an 80% taken right now. He's clearing about 35, 40 million right now on the pay-per-views. He thinks and he knows. So we're going to go to a really big promotion, let's say with the Saudis, Turki, Alalshikh. The pay-per-views are going to be astronomical for that. Probably break all box office records. So therefore, if you want me to do that, you're going to have to pay me 150, 100 million, 150, 200 million. That's what I want guaranteed in that. So Turki, Alalshikh and the rest probably think, no, you're totally outpricing yourself and your attitude stinks and all this kind of stuff. So they're basically butting heads. Turki Alalshikh is coming out and saying, well, kind of making derogatory comments about him, talking about him only wanting easy fights and all that kind of stuff. But, regardless of what Turki Alalshikh, regardless of what the other boxers might feel and other promoters, I'm just really interested to see, has anybody got a theory, a reason why Canelo acts this way, with a certain amount of anger, with a certain amount of disdain towards other fighters that he's fighting, but also with other promoters, and almost like a kind of a disdain against the business, the boxing business. And my opinion, from purely an observation point of view, looking in, that he just thinks he is the ultimate king. He is the ultimate A-side in boxing. And everybody's got to match up to what he feels. He feels that he can demand everything because he knows that he can generate that amount of money, that amount of revenue into the boxing. So therefore, he doesn't want to be shortchanged. He doesn't want to be dictated to by somebody just coming into the business saying, you're only going to be paid 30 million, when he knows the value in that fight for him is probably 150, 200 million. Now, is he overpricing himself? Possibly, but this is probably all part of the song and dance a little bit. This is all part of the posturing. This is all part of him saying, well, no, I'll only accept 150 million or I'll only accept 200 million. But then when the final purse comes in, he might settle for something like, I don't know, off the top of my head, 75 million or 80 million or 90 million. That's still over double what he's currently getting now. So you see where the logic is. He's kind of overinflating himself, butting heads with the others, just to say, well, I can just up my price even more because I know they're going to knock me down eventually. But I'll still get double what I'm getting now. So is this just it? Is it just a big business plan from Canelo Alvarez to act in a certain way, to kind of butt heads with other people in the boxing world? Oscar De La Hoya, Turki Alalshikh, Eddie Hearn, whomever it is. It doesn't seem to be amicable with anybody. It just seems to be that he's kind of making himself an island in the boxing world. Now, again, from an observer on the outside looking in, I just want to see the best fights and the best fights possible. Whilst I acknowledge that Terence Crawford against Canelo Alvarez will be a mega fight, right? I will say that, absolutely, no problem. Because I think people misunderstand what I'm trying to say, right? I just don't believe that it'll be a very competitive fight. And I explained that in a previous video because I think, the weight difference, but also getting up to weight, is going to be difficult to also carry that power as well, whereas Canelo has settled at that weight and he has that power. They're both comparable in ages as well. So if Terence Crawford was, well, let's say a 24, 25, 28-year-old against Canelo Alvarez going up to the weight, I kind of think, okay, maybe there's more of a chance here, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, I could be completely wrong. Purely an observation, purely an opinion. But the point is here, when everybody wants this fight to happen, and maybe Terence Crawford has been pushing for this fight as well to go up, there has to be something there that gets everybody going. And I stand by what I said in the last fight that Terence Crawford had against Madrimov, that it just didn't show enough to convince me that he could go up to Canelo's weight and put on a competitive show. Yes, it'll be a great fight. Yes, it'll be a great spectacle, I should say. Yes, it'll be one of the biggest fights, on the boxing cards, certainly of the world. Would it be the best fight of the year? Who knows? But when you actually get to the fight, when the bell rings for the first round, I'm just not sure it would be much of a spectacle. And the reason why I'm saying that, because Crawford in the Madrimov fight, again, Madrimov didn't bring it as well. He was just as equally as hesitant. You know, they were feeling each other out. Yes, Crawford won, no doubt. And he won it. It was a close fight, very close fight. But, it definitely showed why he's, full weight division world champion. It was a fantastic achievement. But again, I'd still say that it just wasn't a great spectacle. And I think going up to the bigger weight, I just don't think it's there. But you would imagine that Canelo Alvarez would say, no, come on, bring him on, bring him on. But I think this is just all part of the negotiations. But I think sometimes you can play such a hard line and play such a hard game that you kind of start alienating people and you start kind of pushing people away. And maybe that's what Turki Alalshikh, and the likes were saying, do you know what, we want this fight. We want mega fights. Because I believe that Turki Alalshikh, they want to put on the best fights, the biggest fights, the bangers, bring the noise, bring the entertainment. Because let's not forget, the whole point about Turki Alalshikh in Saudi Arabia and the Riyadh season is to bring the eyes of the world onto Saudi Arabia. It's a PR campaign. And it's a good PR campaign for them, right? It's well placed, it's well positioned. Bring the eyes of the world onto Saudi Arabia, bring tourism to Saudi Arabia, bring money to Saudi Arabia. That's what their intention is. Listen, you can't knock them for that, because that's fine. That's what they're trying to do. But if you're going to say you're going to bring a Canelo Alvarez against Terence Crawford, for example, or you're going to say you're going to bring even Canelo against Belanga right now, and you're going to bring that onto a Saudi card, then you kind of think it kind of goes against what Turki Alalshikh is trying to do. They're trying to have the biggest fight. So if you're going to bring the biggest names, or one of the biggest names in world boxing, Canelo Alvarez, who's already guaranteeing on pay-per-views 35-40 million as a personal income, then you kind of think his opponent has got to be somebody huge as well, who everybody acknowledges is going to be a huge test for him. So for me, as it currently stands, Crawford isn't that guy. However, Benavidez is that guy. So for me, if I was Turki Alalshikh, I would say Canelo Alvarez, Benavidez, that's the fight. 150 million, 200 million, 80 million, that's what it's going to be. That's what you're going to get. Let's just see if that can be made. But talk of, Terence Crawford and everything like that, because I just don't think it fulfills that spectacle. So where is Canelo's head in all this? I don't know. That's the thing. I'm asking you guys. I don't know. I'm just an observer on the outside looking in. I just think he's playing this game of trying to inflate his purse, because he knows that he's bringing the Canelo Alvarez name to the party, and everybody else has got to match up to him. He doesn't want to play their game, Turki Alalshikh, Saudi Arabia, or Eddie Hearn, or Oscar De La Hoya's game, anybody else's game. He wants to play his own game. He wants to play Canelo Alvarez's game, Saul's game. That's what he wants to play. He wants everybody to, dance to his tune. And I'm not so sure that's a bad thing, and I'm not so sure that he can be blamed for that because of the position that he's in. Maybe he just understands the business so much that he thinks to himself, I'm not going to be shortchanged here. I'm the one who is the A side. I'm the king of this, and I'm not going to have my arm twisted. I'm not going to lose any money when everybody else is going to be profiting on the back of me. That's what I think he might be thinking. That's not my opinion. That's what I think he might be thinking, but I have no idea. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But why is Canelo Alvarez butting heads with Turki Alalshikh? Who knows? I have no idea, but it's a very intriguing thing. And I just can't see Canelo Alvarez being on a Saudi Riyadh season card anytime soon, because of just the way this goes. I just can't see it happening. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Will Canelo Alvarez ever feature on a Riyadh season fight card? I can't see it. Let us know your thoughts. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for future videos. And I will catch you again on another video coming very soon. Bye now.